Hey, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of Bridges and Beaches. We're doing this.
Yes, we are.
I have Doriel here. Introduce yourself real quick, and then I'll introduce myself.
Sure, I'm Doriel Abrams. As you can hear from my accent, I'm in New York, born and raised. I live in Brooklyn. I'm joking. I'm Israeli.
But you do live in Brooklyn.
I do live in Brooklyn. And honestly, most of the people in Brooklyn have my accent, and others have different types of non-American accent. Jordan and I became friends over doing podcasts about professional stuff, and we decided to just have a podcast of our own about whatever.
Exactly. So I'm Jordan, and like he said, I have another podcast too that I run normally, and it's so much fun that I wanted to start a show where I don't talk about just my professional life, and I just want to have more of a general entertainment, comedy, let's have some fun, two dudes just decompressing. I live in California. I'm the beaches part of the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's get started, man. Should we
do
give people
this.
a little background or what? Where else could we even start it?
I was going to say that with my accent, I thought it'd be funny to call it Bridges and Beaches, and then you don't know what really we're trying to say here, which is kind of, it's the same thing when you think about it.
Yeah, we could be at the strip club or whatever it may be,
we can bitch about beaches. I think that's pretty good. And I wanted to start with a small introduction, Jordan. Okay, I have something here. No,
there we go already, huh?
You remember I was, where for everyone who listens to this, I'm not going to be like maybe asynchronous, but recently I was in Israel during the Iran missile attack there.
You got there like the day before, didn't you?
I got there like a few days before, and I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and during the first week it happened. Whatever, we had to go away through Jordan, like border crossing in the south. And there at the airport, we got my little friend, and we named him Jordan.
Did you really?
Yeah. So this is Jordan the camel, and I actually think, funnily enough, kind of looks like him.
I mean, a little bit with the little blonde puffy hair.
And little blonde
you should see me back in the old days when I had big blonde hair like that. I'm getting a little gray now.
And I also think the hump. I mean, I've never seen you without a shirt, but
that is very indicative of my posture.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So
that's why I have this whole chair to hold me up because I'm hunchback. Hunchback of Jordan Dom over here.
So my daughter, when she falls asleep, she's like Jordan. So
a lot of people do that. I have to say.
I can imagine, but she actually means the stuffed animal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would hope so.
Exactly.
So what's going on in your world besides escaping a war zone to get home? Like what's new and pressing in your world right now?
That's actually a pretty big one, I would say.
I would say it's pretty significant.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. My life, I think we thought of doing this podcast and talk a lot about like common between us and the differences. Obviously, we live in different parts of the nation, which is different. Another difference is I have a kid. So most of what I do, you don't have that. Maybe yet, maybe not at all. So a lot of what I do and what I think about is very much kid oriented. Like when you think about the weekend, it's like, okay, how early am I going to switch on my frozen cocktail machine? And to me, it's like, okay, we got to think
about 12 o'clock today, for the record. So we got an hour.
Pretty late. For the next recording, how about you start earlier? Then we'll have a lot more.
Ooh, we could. We could happy hour it up on this thing next week.
That would be great. And so most of like what I do is like, okay, how do we make sure like that we're having fun, but also the baby's happy doing it's kind of the thing.
So how do you guys do that? Like what did you guys do before baby? Like what would your normal Friday? Recording this on a Thursday, but it's a holiday weekend.
So
what would you normally do on a Friday?
It's a very interesting question because right now, 2 years in, it's pretty fuzzy. Like I don't remember not having anything to work. I do remember, look, we moved to the States right around when COVID started. So we anyway hung out like the homos. Yeah. But there's work day ends. You either go do a workout, maybe go out to a restaurant. Typically, a day would end with like smoking a joint and watching TV, like I guess most people. I don't know most people of our generation.
I don't know if most people do that, but
most people I think of my
a lot of
generation.
people I know do.
yeah, that's. But with this social class we're in, it feels like a common thing to do. Just watch TV with whatever the way you get your buzz on. But now it's like you got to always come up with activities, and it doesn't have to be like something crazy. It's like, okay, so we're doing tomorrow we're obviously going grilling, like I'm guessing most people. So that's an activity. Right.
Do you guys do that? Oh, you went to a friend's house. So I was gonna say,
Yeah,
do you have like a barbecue area there? At your...
I have a small. So this is behind me. There's like a small, balcony porch. So we have another one at the front of the house, and that's where I have a small grill there. So
they let you have a grill there because, like, in California, for the most part, especially in newer builds, you can't have a grill on your patio anymore. Fire hazards and all that.
I will say that I did not ask anyone, and no one has told me anything. But I would
always better.
I would assume that if someone would purchase that would not be allowed. You have a background?
Yeah, in my younger years, I would do the charcoal grill out on the balcony because I was broke and charcoal grills were cheap, and just smoke everybody out when I was starting that thing. This was in Oregon when you could still have those, but since I've been in California, I don't think we've ever been able to have one. At my house now, I do have the built-in, like the Lion big, 36-inch grill. So we are also doing that tomorrow. Actually, the Gloria's going to the store.
So your house, you're hosting a bunch of people?
Not a bunch. So what we did is we have the new puppy. We have Buddy, and he is going to be a year old this month. But this is his first time really seeing fireworks. Like we had a little bit. We had him on New Year's, and he was unfazed. But a neighbor shot off one about a month ago over the top of the house, and he lost his mind. And now he hears from the distance, which is crazy because, like, we live in the range of Disneyland that you can hear the fireworks every night at 9:30.
Oh, is that so?
So yeah, so we've been trying to, like, when we hang out outside with like when it's 9:30, we try to keep him out there to keep him, like, get him more used to it and desensitized to it. But when they're this close, like when I take him out to pee at like 4 a.m. and you can hear some jackass shooting one off miles away, he does freak out and like look around and go. So for this one, we've decided to forego our normal non-kids, no responsibilities plans of a party somewhere and stay home. And then I told the neighbors, we have a big group chat going with all of us on the street. There's like 8 houses on the street that we all hang out. And I was like, whoever wants to could swing by and come to the pool. I'll barbecue. Pool's going to be going. Pool's warm because it's heated. It's like 93 degrees. It's going to be like an 85-degree day.
When am I going to visit Chilvio Pool?
I don't know, man. You got the flight card. Like, just jump on a plane and get over here. You can come tomorrow.
That's Well, tomorrow I'm busy with that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, all summer we're going to be here. We do like to stay home with the dog a little bit more than we used to. He's pretty good about being inside. We have the camera inside now, so we can see what he's doing. I try to not keep him outside when the weather goes over like 82 because he is a golden doodle, so he sweats. He's got a summer cut.
Is he jumping in the pool? I actually saw that on Instagram.
He does not jump in the pool. We have a beach entry, and he goes in a little ways, but he won't go into any deep part. My buddy Dimitri did shove him into the pool last weekend. He was not a fan, so he doesn't like to be that wet. He likes sprinklers.
And Dimitri is not invited anymore.
No. I was kind of encouraging it because I wouldn't mind if he would swim around every once in a while. Yeah. But it is kind of nice because he takes hours to dry, just hours, dude. So yeah. So we're gonna be just doing a regular daytime. We like day drinking anyway, so we're gonna be doing a day drinking extravaganza, and then probably just relax with the TV. And gonna definitely trazodone or whatever the dog out.
I found that a lot of people who like day drinking are big fans of night drinking too. Do you find it to be?
I am skilled enough that I can turn morning drinking all the way into late night drinking. Now we only drink on weekends.
I spent one day like that with you, I think, where we drank like from noon till the little hours of the morning.
Yeah,
that last couple of months ago.
Yeah, that definitely did. We had a nice dinner in the middle there. Yeah, we went to almost last call at the bar. Do you remember we went into that bar because you were like, let's find some live music, and then you're like, hell yeah, you found this bar, and they're like playing jazz, and that's fine. I have no problem against jazz, but then like we came in on one song, and they ended the song, and they're like, all right, that's our night. Thanks everybody. And we were so posted up. It was, but we were like so just settled already that we're like, I guess this is where we're staying the rest of the evening. So.
Which is fine. It was, I think, our 4th bar for that. After,
remember we went to the one, because the restaurant was awesome, by the way. I'll have to remember the name of it. It's a different. Dallas, Texas. We flew in just to have dinner. You flew in from New York. I flew in from Orange County. just to have dinner and drinks that night. And then, yeah, we went to like that hotel bar. It was supposed to be cool, but it was like literally like,
Was it cool?
like white moms convention.
Which can be cool. Can be cool.
It can be cool, but yeah, that was not the correct set of circumstances.
It was
so
not. It was not good. But it was fun. Yeah. So that's about you. Day and night drinking habits, which is
I am talented at that. I enjoy a cocktail. I'm in a cocktail phase right now. So like beers are fun, especially like when at the pool. But I'm really liking like handmade, handshaken cocktails.
So do you make them yourself, or you go somewhere else?
I do a little bit of both. So when I do the at home, you get about 2, maybe 3 out of me, and then I don't want to go through the work anymore. So usually
just do like straight vodka.
Well, no, I just do Buffalo Trace over ice.
Yeah, okay,
just Buffalo Trace rocks, baby, all day.
Yeah,
and all night. But there's this blueberry martini that I like a lot, and that it's at a chain restaurant called Lazy Dog, but it's really good. Right. So I do make that one. So you muddle the blueberries. It's the Absolute Limon vodka. I just get Tito's because I'm like, and then I just put a little bit of lemon juice in there. And then so hand muddle it, do that over the ice, shake it up, and then you actually do the ice from the shaker into it.
Very good.
So that way it's kind of all done up. I'm trying to think. There's like a little bit of simple syrup goes in there too to make it sweet. Excellent. It's really refreshing when it's hot out. But muddling the blueberries and all that, and how quickly, because it's so refreshing. Like, you pineapple juice too. You put pineapple juice in there. Because it's so refreshing, they go down pretty quick. Yeah. So I don't want to make a ton of them. So I started making doubles.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
I started a Negroni series about 10 years ago, and I've never stepped out of it yet.
Why do they taste like Band-Aids? I don't like that.
I think your mistake is you're focusing on the flavor too much.
That's kind of the point of a cocktail.
I mean, you could say that, but the thing with Negroni, it's a cocktail where all 3 mixtures are booze. So
yeah, but isn't it like Campari too?
It's Campari, it's gin, and it's usually a vermouth of sort. Could be Anticafola, that's like the classic one. And then you put like some ice in it and maybe like a twist of orange. And then, maybe the first sip is a little bit bitter. And then, but for the next one, you just simply don't care. It's so buzzed on.
Every single time I take a drink of a Negroni, a sip, I think of like when you accidentally leave a Band-Aid on in the shower and it washes off and you're just like looking at it over the drain. I don't know what it is, but I get that visual every single time I have one single sip of a Negroni.
Do you like single malts, like the PD ones from like Scotland?
I do not. Remember, we talked about this when we were in Dallas.
Yes, I think that's the difference. Yeah. Some people like the really, really strong bitter stuff that makes you feel like you're chewing an ashtray.
Yeah, don't like that.
And yeah, so that's
not what I'm after. I'm after like a smooth, relaxing. That's why I like weeded bourbons a lot. Like Weller's. There's one called Everwild. That's my buddy. Actually owns a distillery in Ohio. It's an excellent weeded. And then of course, the Pappies are always good. Pappy 15. If anybody wants to send me a bottle, just go ahead and send it.
When I think about weeded stuff, I just think about something completely different. So maybe that's just another difference between the two of us. Maybe it's the California item.
Yeah. What do you think about when you think of weeded?
Of weeded. Of weed.
Oh, weeded.
Weeded. Yeah. That's another.
I would say California is pretty involved in that. It's to me, not personally. I've done some edibles with you, and it's just not. It's not necessarily my thing. I like cocktails. So.
Yeah. It's what's funny is when as a kid, I grew up in the north part of Israel. It's means something to someone. People around me always used to be all about weed. I never cared for it so much until I moved to Tel Aviv. But I think a lot of what I liked about it is the fact that you see like a rebel, that you gotta figure out ways to get it. Then I moved to New York, it became legal, and I'm like,
So let me tell you a couple things about Israel, because I've been there. I went to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
I've been around. We would talk about it too.
I had a great time. I would go back in a heartbeat, like not even a hesitation.
I mean, I wouldn't right now, but yeah.
It's a little dicey over there, I think, But I've always pictured it as a very conservative place, but it doesn't. Now, I know Tel Aviv is different, but is Israel as a whole or is it just like Jerusalem and like those sorts of sects?
I would say, we made a decision listeners that we're trying not to get too political here because our opinions might get us canceled. Like
and like we want to be neutral and all that.
And it doesn't really matter. But I think I'm trying to look at it from the, I would say, more objective.
That's what. Yes, please.
If you think about what's happening here in the U.S., it doesn't matter what you're thinking. It's more or less like liberal, conservative. It's mostly an urban, non-urban separation right now, and it's not like that's basically states that have more cities or bigger cities are more leaning towards liberal, and places that are more countryside tend to be more conservative. It's the same in Israel, and it's about 50. So
wow, so it's the same.
It's about the same. You can find people who vibe with your opinion everywhere and anywhere. Of course, some sides are louder, some sides keep winning the elections, etc. But it's not technicality. It's really percentage points here or there. Where I grew up, I felt like I grew up in a very liberal community in a very non-liberal area.
Got it. Which, everybody has that. It's like Oregon's pretty conservative for the most part, but then there's Portland. And
exactly. So if you grew up, like, part of me probably feel the same, where you maybe had some like liberal opinion in your upbringing, but everyone around, like, you knew, I was exposed to people of different opinions, which I like, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That connecting with everyone and understanding where everybody comes from is fantastic. Give me a lot to think about, and made me even more stronger in my opinions for whatever reason. But Israel is far from conservative country. I'm not talking about the government or the actions. The people are very, very open-minded, very, very chill.
That's super interesting to know. I will say, is that your cat?
So that's like,
I will say, before I do want to talk about that for a second. But I will say, I was also surprised at how many trees were there. It was more like kind of forest on the drive from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
You thought it was a desert?
I thought it was a desert, man. I thought it was like all the photos in my head of after reading Bibles and the Sunday school and all that.
It's equivalent to someone saying chill Arizona and expecting the entire United States to be a desert, which I know Israel is like orders of magnitude smaller, but we probably have there. I don't want to say every type of climate, but ski in the north, there's a good chunk of a desert-ish like in the south. But in the middle, it's, I wouldn't say it's a foresty thing, but it's a pretty great.
I was shocked by that. Now, let's talk a little bit about that just because I want to. And it's our show now. But when I grew up in Salem, Oregon, which is a very small town.
Salem, Oregon.
It's like 150,000 people. It's actually the capital of Oregon, but everybody thinks Portland is. Now, it is a pretty conservative town overall. Not a lot going on, law is still very blue collar agriculture.
What's the main product goes out of Salem?
Government. most of the people are employed in working for the government.
The capital.
Yeah, it's like a lot of legislature people, a lot of people working at the Capitol, and all the building. Their IRS, like the state treasury and all that's up there. The revenue building. They used to have an awesome statue that you could skate on. It was great. But then the hospital. It's a major hospital for like the Willamette Valley. So a lot of people work in healthcare there, and the hospital keeps getting bigger. And it looks like with the big beautiful bill, some of the rural ones that might be impacted, so that hospital will get even busier. But it was weird because I grew up, only hearing and thinking about one side of every issue, just because that's just what you're told. It's just what happens when you're growing up. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, straight up at 22, I moved to Beverly Hills. I don't think I'd ever seen a Jewish person before I started coming out of California. I don't know, probably was one in my high school, but it was mostly Mormon, and a little bit of that Russian Orthodox that exists.
Mormon, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty big Mormon area in the Willamette Valley. This temple in Portland, really nice temple. I actually went there before they dedicated it, and just got to see what that was. I did not grow up Mormon. But coming to California, I would say that I would identify as conservative when I arrived here. And over my last almost 20 years of living here, I very much have had a more open mind to issues. Now, there still have conservative things that I very much agree with, but there's a lot of liberal things that I also agree with, so I think I've struck a pretty good balance for the things that I like and that are important to me. while still thinking about the greater good, but also like being fiscally responsible. You can't just give everything to everybody, that sort of thing.
I like the older I get, it's like the more I just want to lose touch completely with politics and all.
So I turned off the notifications on my phone from the news articles because it was overload of too much. And
I feel the same way.
And every day it's something. Yeah.
When I moved to the States, I heard, I think it was in the well before 2016 or even before that you can be an American resident or citizen and just be an uninformed voter. Just like do your thing, don't care about anything, make whatever you need for your family. And like politics is something you can choose if you want to be involved or not. Like it paying good amount, but that's what I want to be. I just want to be an uninformed voter. I don't want to care about it. I would just want to be like,
I do sit there and I read every single measure and every single person. I read their little bio. In California, they said, I'm sure they do. I read their little what about them, what their message is, and I make my decisions right then and there. I don't go down and say, all red or all blue, whatever it is. I'm a very much decision. What matters to me. And I like that. And I don't care if anybody doesn't because I like that.
No, I think we should. Look, I disparate, but then I'm a green card holder, so I cannot vote. Which I kind of.
Are you sure about that? Have you tried?
I can try. I heard that in certain places they don't ask for an ID, so maybe I won't try that. But no, I cannot vote here. And I'm content with this because it means that I don't have to feel responsibility or involvement, which I kind of like. So I can be an uninformed non-voter. Yeah. With that, when I do get to read the news, and by the way, on both sides, maybe some sides more than others, but I feel my blood pressure rise. I'm trying to lose my shit, and I'm like, what? I don't want any of that. I love TV. I love music. I, hang out with my family, and I try to think of other ways to keep myself busy. And focusing on work is one thing that I found to be great.
Yeah,
it has a direct impact on how by that.
Yeah, it's always good to have a creative outlet too. So that's why we have this show.
That's why we're doing this. Yeah.
So speaking of music, that's actually a good transition. What's your favorite band?
The Beatles. I think
as is tradition for everybody, right?
Some people, I think you're not. I would say you're not a fan, but I'm uninformed fan.
Look, when I did voice lessons years ago, like one of the first songs I ever had to do was Yesterday, just because it shows your range. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do 10 questions, and I'm going to do a Beatle questions. It's not multiple choice. Now, there will be quizzes eventually that I will multiple choice.
So not multiple choice. It's an open
It's going to have the name, the answer. It's going to be yes or no. Basically, true, false.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. And I will say,
it's not true, false. It's not. You're just going to have to know the anscer.
Like, I'll know the answer. The answer will be either right or wrong, but there's no other way.
Correct.
I will say that I consider myself a major Beatles freak.
Okay, so let's just do a sample question.
All right,
just to see. All right, so let's start with which sad song by the Beatles has the lyrics, "Why she had to go, I don't know why she wouldn't stay."
Oh, come on, it's Yesterday. That's easy.
Okay, there we go. See, that was a throwback. You like that?
Yeah, it's very good.
So that's a sample of what it's going to be like. So we're going to do right,
all right,
and we're going to do wrong, and then we're going to do 10. So I'm going to do some math because I only have this little Far Side comic here.
I will say that if I do, I want to do 10 now I have 1 out of 10 because that's one yes, but if I'll do less than 10 out of 10, I will be very disappointed in myself. I want to win.
Do you want to be that disappointed in yourself?
I'm not disappointed, but I consider myself an expert. So.
There's no way in hell you're going to get 10. All right. So I'm going to just jump around on this thing then. All right. Okay. Who was the session drummer who filled in for Ringo Starr on Love Me Do?
Here's the info. Ringo Starr on Love Me Do. The session drummer.
Mm-hmm.
I know who was the original drummer.
Who was the original drummer?
Pete West. But that's not him. Yeah,
not all Petey.
Session drummer who filled in on Ringo. I don't know. But
you're going to just lose right out of the gate, aren't you?
I'm going to lose right out of the gate. I'm going to guess maybe Paul. Maybe Paul was the drummer.
No, that's a good guess, though.
Yeah, because he did drum. Okay, so yes.
Not even the best drummer in the Beatles. No, Andy White.
He never said it, but
yeah. That's it was completely made up. Yeah, I do know that, but it's too good of a quote to not at least say. Yeah.
But
Okay. Andy White.
Andy White.
See?
Okay.
Yeah. You see, I scrolled down because I knew you wanted you're so cocky. That's what you get.
The bird is not that big. I would say that Paul did drum in back to the USSR. He basically told Ringo to fuck up, and he drummed it himself. And then we came back, and they all wrote together under this whatever Octopus's Garden, and yeah, they were happy. But yeah, Paul did drum it. So. All right, now I know.
All right,
lovely.
What album is Within You, Without You part of?
Sgt. Pepper.
That is correct. All right, let's see. What Beatles song is about Mia Farrow's sister?
Dear Prudence. Prudence Farrow. It was during the time they were in India.
This question, like, literally has the name of the sister, which, come on. Like, that's why I omitted that part of the question. All right, we don't need that one. This is so easy.
Wait, did you know the answers, though? Did you know the answers?
Yeah, well, they're blurred out on this form that I'm using. Okay. In what year did Paul McCartney announce he was quitting the Beatles?
1970.
Ooh, that's right. Dang, bro. All right.
They recorded Let It Be at the end of 69, whatever. You know.
No, I don't know.
I did.
All right, let's see here. Who is the producer of most of the Beatles albums?
It was not.
Okay. That's an easy one. I
For
feel
the
like,
last
feel like that was a softball question right there.
I mean, if you're Beatles know it all, then you're. And who was the one producer who was not? Which album? You know that? Surprised that Phil Spector did that.
Oh, he's a
standard
guy.
Killed his wife.
Yeah, on a boat. Wasn't who was with him on the boat? It wasn't John Voight, was it?
It could be John Voight.
Now I have to know.
Maybe it's Richard Eiffel.
No, it was Christopher Walken. I could do the voice.
So yeah, Christopher Walken was with Phil Spector on the boat when he killed his wife.
Allegedly.
That's Christopher Walken. Okay.
Yeah, and the boat's captain, Dennis Davern. So Christopher Walken.
How are you going to do the voice, though?
No, not today. Not on the first episode. We can't just bust it all out.
Yeah.
I'm still a little nervous.
Yeah, don't be. I think.
Yeah. No, I hope so. All right. Who wrote the song Octopus Garden?
Richard Stouty or Ringo Starr here. With everyone else, honestly. I mean, it did, but you kind of see it happening on Let It Be, and it's not real. But it's Ringo's. One of the only ones.
All right. Well, you're getting up there. You got 5 right out of 6 so far.
Okay.
All right.
Give it
here you go. This is a good one. Which Beatles song was the first to use a sitar?
A sitar.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's George playing the sitar. I know, Within You, Without You has a sitar. It's the first one. I'm not sure. I want to say.
What other songs have it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Flying has it. I think Blue Jay Way has it. I think.
What one?
Blue Jay Way.
No.
That's not with somebody. No, because Within You, Without You was before. I am going to, some reason, stick with Within You, Without You.
You are incorrect. It is Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood.
This bird has flown.
It's a good song.
Is it? I will have to maybe check that out one day.
Yeah, you don't know the song? No. You probably do, though.
I know. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
A girl, or should I say she wants?
So I know Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, right? I know. I actually love Come Together because it sounds not like them. Eleanor Rigby, the hits. Like, I know the big ones.
So what I think you'll find interesting, if I can get off a little tangent, is that the Beatles very intentionally try to always write out of style. Like Paul wanted basically.
Well, that's why they say they basically invented modern music. All of it can be traced back to the Beatles, essentially.
Yes, they have like heavy metal. They have like musical styles come together. It's very much almost a rap song when you think about it. Not really though, but almost. They just have so many different styles and genres that they kind of hovered over. You know how some bands, and I love music, almost type, have a very distinct sound that you can like listen to an album of Crosby, Stills, Nash Young. Like it's great. But it's kind of the same. It's great, but it's kind of the same. Or the Beatles, I feel like every album, almost every song, you find something. And then a few examples you've given are just, for example, yesterday, Ed and Rigby come together. How could the same people write this?
It's just like Thrice back here, behind me. Like that record was like all hardcore and heavy, and then this one down here, Visu, was a lot more experimental and like alternative,
Yeah, I don't know Thrice at all.
It took me a long time to love that one right there. A long time.
And now it's
I
on the wall. Now it's on the wall. It's even bigger than the
first. That's the 15-year anniversary that they did at the Novo about 1 week before COVID shut down.
Oh,
so that was pretty cool.
Were you there?
I was there. All the posters that are on the wall, I was in attendance at every show. That's the rule. Yeah. All right, here we go. So we got 7 down, 7 out of 10 so far. You have 5. Right. So you're getting up there.
What's a good score though? Or what am I getting? Or doesn't I get nothing?
I can't do math like that, because I would say that's what that's. No, we're not going to do that. All right. Which Beatles song was inspired by a 17th century English poem and features a string octet?
Which Beatles song features a string octet and was influenced by a poem?
17th century.
17th century poem.
That's the 1600s from the record.
And
come on, you know this. You know this.
The poem, think about the poem. There was like a couple of candidates. I'm thinking it could be, it's not She's Living Home, definitely. It could be For No One, but also.
I've never heard of those songs.
You never heard any of those. You never heard the songs I mentioned? No, the one that, exactly.
I mean, the correct answer is yes to both of those things. Yes. Tell me when you concede. I would just take a stab in the dark.
Yeah, I mean,
why don't you just guess a song?
Yeah. I'm going to say For No One just because I remember those strings in it, but probably it's not the right answer.
It was the first one you said. It was She's Leaving Home.
She's Leaving Home. Oh,
you're so close, man. You said it.
But I mentioned it.
But you chose Paul.
She's Leaving Home, by the way, one of my favorite Paul songs. Very, very good song.
Maybe I'll go listen to this. I got a lot of time left today.
At least listen to this. She's Leaving Home.
We're going to try and turn this episode around same day, by the way. I'm going to try and get this out today.
Today.
I would like it released today.
Don't use any Beatles songs because I don't have.
I won't put any Beatles. I don't want to get shut down. I already had to get the license for the intro song. That's fun. All right. So, which Beatles song spent the most weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100? Should be a softball.
Whoa. Wow. I mean, you already asked a question about yesterday. I know that was big. But it could be I Want to Hold Your Hand.
I know that song, but no, it's not that one.
All right.
It is Hey Jude.
Hey Jude. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not about the Jewish fella you have.
I thought that'd be Juden, right?
Oh. I always thought it was like a song for me. Nope.
That's just walking down the street in New York, right?
Yeah.
Half the people turn around.
Well, now we're going to have a new mayor. Who knows? But let's not think about that.
All right. So next question. Okay. I'll do a softball for you since this is the last question. Which Beatles song features the lyric, "In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make"?
The end.
Oh, good job. All right. So
and it's you got
one song. You got 60%.
60%.
You got 60%. So not bad.
I'm proud. at that. I also think
I was giving some zingers in there, so I'll give you that.
You did put some zingers. I'm only beating myself up, for she's living home, which I kind of.
You almost had it. I was like, oh, he said the words, but it's gotta be like that. I just
thought about the words and I couldn't see how I just didn't know it was inspired by A1774.
Are you getting attacked right now?
Oh, that's a cat. Yeah, I am getting attacked.
Jeez.
Let's go.
Oh man. Somebody wants some attention.
Yeah. Yes. And then I'm also filled with scratches all over because every time he jumps.
Yeah. I locked Buddy out of the room, so he can't come in today. But it's New York. You probably don't have those sorts of luxuries,
I actually do have a door I can shut down, and Sonny, my dog, is here, but he's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Well, so 60% is pretty good, but I do think we should maintain those quizzes. Next week, I'll come with a quiz.
You come with a quiz. Now it doesn't have to be about Thrice. It doesn't have to be about bands. It can be about anything,
I thought a Blackpink quiz would be great.
Okay. So let's talk about Blackpink for a second, because that concert's coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah. How excited?
You know what? I'll take it. Like, I don't know that much about the members' personal lives.
So let's put it aside. You give me a topic you think you're an expert in. That's not fraud prevention or whatever, and I'll come up with a quiz for us. But like, it has to look. I think most people.
How about early 2000s emo music?
Emo.
Emo music. Early 2000s emo music.
Like Avril Lavigne.
Take It Back Sunday, Brand New, Thrice. All those sorts of things.
I'll do that. I will probably use some AI because I have.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No idea. Yeah,
100%. Like that's what AI was made for, things like that.
That's absolutely right. And I will be disappointed if you didn't use AI to create this quiz book.
I did not. I used a website that somebody, because the Beatles are so popular, somebody had already compiled a list for me. So
I do want to say that I've learned about Andy White, and then everything else was like
the handy wipes, like for the toilet.
Andy White, the drummer.
Oh, Andy White.
And also Andy Wipes. Well,
yeah, those are pretty cool, man.
Yeah, two good topics. All other mistakes, I think, are like technicalities, which I'm like, okay. Like this, I didn't even know the name. Everything else is like, whatever.
Yeah, well, So I think we're going to wrap this one up because we don't want to go too long and bore the people out. But that was a fun first pilot there. We're just going to keep talking about things. Any last thing, anything crazy going on in your world right now that you're thinking about?
Nothing crazy. I do want to call out people out there who are listening or not. If you have a suggestion for a specific corner we could have here on a weekly basis, if you want to go on the show and say something or ask something, either Jordan or myself, we're trying this thing. We're going to make it work. We're going to just record every week until someone picks up the phone and wants to do something with us.
And then hopefully it doesn't say, go on a live yourself. Like, we'll just hope that one.
If that happens, we'll take care of that.
I'll weigh all the options.
Maybe we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we hope to do this and have some guests, interesting people from time to time on there, so it's not just the two of us rambling.
We will have also live sessions because we meet around every month and so we'll
so sometimes we will be recording this live in the room, in my studio, maybe your studio, or maybe an apartment or a hotel lobby, maybe a hotel bar.
Works. Or maybe your pool, like the beach entry, could be like a nice episode to do.
It is available, and I have plenty of cameras from the other podcast. So
some other productions in your pool, which no one's going to ask about.
I'm getting that DJI Osmo 3 pocket thing. So I'm going to be taking lots of B-roll. I'm going to be putting up like little things you should do with your phone too. I'm here on the subway. I'm waiting. Check out this homeless guy. This shit's crazy.
If I do that, I'll get stabbed, which could be actually a good shot. Or
hey, maybe someone's going to suggest that.
Hey, I'm thinking like if we want to do like a show about like New York versus California, it has to have a video of someone's getting stabbed, and if it's me, it's even better. So,
I mean, hey, that's good content. But I do want to talk about at some point like some restaurants and stuff. We should go back and forth about our favorite restaurants in the areas that we live, and all sorts of other things. So I can't wait to see where we're going to go.
That is going to be amazing.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you in 1 week, and everybody else, you'll see us in 1 week if you keep listening.
Yeah, you'll see us whether we want it or not.
That's right. We're going to force it down your throat. All right. Bye.